So I bought another pontoon boat. I kind of showed it off in my last pontoon episode. It was the last party pontoon video where I was getting it ready to take it over and get the upper deck rebuilt. That's over there right now getting rebuilt. Hopefully I'll have that back here in the next few weeks. But this is my new boat. I got it last week. This is a 2005 Bennington Tritoon that is 22 foot long, and I only paid $5,000 for it, which is an incredible deal. You can look it up online. You can try to find one for anywhere near that price, and you won't be able to because it's not easy to find a Tritoon for that cheap, let alone a Bennington. Bennington is one of the topper line brands of pontoons. They're not cheap, let's just put it that way. This boat may look a little rough, but it's actually in pretty good shape considering on where it came from. It was on the east coast of Florida most of its life. It was a rental boat, which rental boats usually aren't very well kept. As you can see by up top here, it's actually in really good shape. These seats are in awesome condition for how old it is. They might have been replaced, who knows? I don't know the full history on this boat, but it's in pretty good shape. The worst part is right here. There's also a tear on this little sun deck part. And also, if you watched my last video, you would have known that I kind of ruined the bimini tops because I didn't put them down all the way when I was towing it, and it tore them up and broke them and lost one. That was not a good trip. We're not going to talk about that anymore. But I am getting a new bimini top, and it's going to be in good shape. So no harm, no foul. Just out of a little bit of money for this rebuild. Now, I'm not planning on doing a full deck up rebuild on this thing. It doesn't really need a whole lot to make it look new again. The main things I want to focus on is obviously cleaning it up. These barnacles and pontoons need a lot of cleaning. The fencing is really ugly looking, I think. The plain white look just looks really bad. I think it looks kind of cheap. So we're gonna do a little modification to that, make it look a lot better. Also, this boat did not come with a motor until now. I talked about in my last episode about taking my Suzuki off of my other pontoon and putting it on this one, since this one originally had a Suzuki. It was a little bit bigger than this, but it's kind of hard to find a 4-stroke 175 for anywhere affordable pricing right now. I had some friends come over and help me install this motor, swapping it from my party pontoon onto this boat. And that way I can work on this while the upper deck is getting built over on the east coast of Florida somewhere. So with that being said, I already ordered a new controls, new wiring. I also need to order the steering control arm. I need to order that too. But that's all ready to go now. I'm gonna clean this motor up a lot and probably paint it and make sure it runs good, because I don't even know if it runs yet. So. Another thing this boat did not come with was a trailer. I used my other trailer, it kind of damaged it a little bit, and I knew I needed to find a beefier trailer, so ended up finding this one. We're gonna talk about that right now. I'm not sure how I'm going to throw this in, if it's going to be the intro to my video or what, just like in the middle. I just don't know. This is a day after we bought the Bennington boat. My dad found a trailer for $500 that we are going to fix up, and it's going to be the trailer to use for the Bennington boat. Let me tell you a little bit about it. $500 for a Tritoon double axle trailer that originally had a 22-foot Tritoon on it somehow. Obviously for $500, it's not going to be in perfect shape. It is a bit rusty. A lot of these cross members are rusted through in a lot of places. Basically where the bunk mounts are, it's all like pretty much rusted through. So my dad has already started cutting out all the beams, and we're going to replace them with this U-channel, C-channel. It's really thick metal, a lot better than what these other cross beams are made out of, a lot thicker at least. That's where a lot of the rust is. Some of the other rust is right where it meets right here. And also the suspension is in decent shape. The only bad part is this mount right here for where the front leaf spring connects. So that's gonna get replaced too. I gotta order that. Can't really find that at hardware stores anywhere, but order that, and we're gonna replace all these cross beams and get it in good condition to get the Bennington off my trailer and put it on its new trailer. So that's the plan right now. I'm gonna set up like probably have some footage. I'm gonna show you guys of my dad working on it. I'm currently editing another video right now, so I can't really help him, and I gotta get it done before I leave for a couple days. So trying to get all this trying to keep you guys updated on what's exactly going on this. He's also picking up new bunks for it, some 2x4 pressure treated 18 foot and some 14 foots for the center pontoon. So just want to try to keep you guys up to date on what's exactly going on. $500 for this trailer is a pretty great deal. Even though we have to replace a lot of the stuff, I think it's a really great deal. And we found it literally the same day we bought the Bennington, so good deal. My dad went and picked up this trailer this morning, and he did not have as many problems as I did, so good for him. I'm a little jealous, but all good news. Also has brakes in the back. I don't think they work right now, but we can look into that later on. We just got to get this thing good enough shape to put the boat on it and then keep it there for a while. That way I can get my trailer back. probably already know I got my trailer back from a previous video, but I just want to let you guys know. And just like that, I got a new trailer for $500. We put a little bit of money into it. We got new bunks for it. We're gonna get new bunk covers eventually. Replaced a lot of the beams because they were all rusted through. This trailer was very rusty. And also we needed to add some support up here because when my dad was swapping the boats and trying to get this boat on the trailer, we noticed the tongue was bending a lot because there's a lot of weight up here. So we needed to add some more supports in. Noticed that there was a lot of rust underneath these beams, so we wanted to add some more support. That way there's no major bending to this boat. Probably gonna have to add some more, maybe another couple cross beams up here in the front. Also maybe try to connect that beam with this one. I think it's gonna help a lot and hopefully not bend this trailer that much. This is a good deal on a trailer. I mean, $500, you can't really beat that for a pontoon trailer. Tri-tune pontoon trailer. But that's good enough for this trailer right now. We just kind of needed something to sit this pontoon on for the time being, and we didn't want it sitting on a really rusty trailer that might fall apart. But this is in good enough shape right now to where we can leave this and start working on the pontoon. Right now, I want to go ahead and clean this thing up. I want to pressure wash it, try to get these barnacles off. I'm not sure if pressure washing is going to get them all off, especially underneath where it's a lot harder. Like, these things are pretty hard. And they might come off, but they like to cut you up. But we're gonna try to pressure wash them off. If pressure washing doesn't work, we're gonna have to scrape them off. And if scraping it off doesn't work, then I don't know what to do after that. But we're gonna go ahead and start cleaning it up. I wanna clean up the top too, get that all looking good, and then we can start focusing on the fencing and motor work and getting everything else done and this boat finished and hopefully out in the water pretty soon. All right, let's go ahead and pressure wash this and get it cleaned up. Everything is clean, pressure washed for the most part. I can't really get underneath these pontoons without lifting it up. So all the bottom side of the pontoons still need to be scraped. I've gotten as much as I could, but we gotta figure out a way to lift this thing up and get the rest of it, or put it in the water and scrape it off. But either way, I still need to lift it up because I'm gonna have to repaint these two and make them look a lot better. Also wanna clean up the aluminum, maybe put some Alumibrite on them, see if it will clean them up a little bit, just make it look a little bit better. Scraping it was definitely the easiest way to go. Pressure washing, you had to really dig into it to get it off, and it still didn't get it all off. So scraping is the way to go. Maybe even have to sand it after this just to get the rest of it off. You can see how much is on the floor, or you can just see how much is on the ground right now. It's basically like rock. But the pontoons are in great shape underneath it. It's just chipped paint, and that's all it really is. I think you can clean them up pretty good and put another coat of paint on them, and it'll look pretty much brand new, I think. As for the top, I cleaned it up a little bit. I basically just sprayed the floors down to make them look a little bit better. That's all it really did. Seats, I think I need to get some kind of spray or something to clean up the little bit of darkness on it. I think that'll, I didn't want to pressure wash the seats or anything. I didn't want to damage them, but if you guys have a spray in mind that works really well on these seats, let me know in the comments, please. I want to try it out and clean up these seats pretty well. Next episode, we got some work cut out for us. We gotta remove these seats, or at least move them out of the way so we can get this fencing off. All the fencing bolts are behind this paneling, so I think I'll have to take off this whole fencing to get it off and make them look a little bit better. I have an idea for this fencing. I think it's gonna make it look a little bit more modern. We're gonna try it out and see how it looks. Hopefully give you guys an idea to make your fencing look a little bit more modern, and also replace the bimini top and maybe work on the motor a little bit, try to get that thing running. I'm still waiting for a few parts to come in for that, like the wiring and the controls and all that kind of stuff. We're gonna save all that for next episode. This episode, I just wanna kinda get an idea of what's going on with it and see if there's anything hidden that we need to fix. And I think it's all pretty good shape. I think we are good to go. If you guys aren't following me on Instagram yet, I post a lot behind the scenes, maybe even like a picture of that. You can check me out there, follow me there if you want to. If not, I will catch you guys next week on another episode, maybe back on the original pontoon, since it's already back in my yard after 6 days of being gone. We'll see. Yeah, we'll see. All right, thank you guys so much for watching, and I will catch you in the next episode. Bye. Hello. It's been a while since I've done a Q&A, actually a year in fact. It doesn't feel like that long, but a lot of people were asking me for one, and I also really wanted to do one, so here we go. If you want to get involved with any of these questions, or you want your question answered in the future, you can follow my Instagram. That's where I usually do all these little Q&As. I also post some Q&As on there if you want to. If you want to join that, you can. That's how you can get involved if you want to. First question you asked, how are you doing? I am pretty tired right now, a little overwhelmed, but I woke up this morning, and I think that's a pretty good thing. So I'm doing okay. Yeah, I'm doing okay. Hanging in there. Yeah. Thank you for asking, though. Make sure you ask your friends and family how they're doing occasionally. You know, people are going through stuff. You want to make sure you're there for them. What is your next project? I have something in the works. I'm currently saving up a lot of money for it because it's not really a cheap project. I'm gonna have to sell a few things and just wait around a little bit, but I do have something in the works I've been wanting to do for a while. I will give a hint. It is with a classic car. That's the only hint you really get. I don't want to spoil anything too much, but yeah. Classic car is in the future. Maybe a couple different ones, but... What got you started on rebuilding and creating? I found my more artistic side in middle school, in art class, really. But it wasn't until I got my first car I started working on like rebuilding stuff and doing stuff creative that way. I throw up a picture of my first car. It was pretty unique looking. I painted it to look like that. I didn't personally paint it, but I designed it to look like that. I think I really just wanted to be able to do it on my own because it didn't turn out exactly how I wanted it, so maybe that's why I started doing this stuff on my own, to try to learn how to do it by myself and get it exactly how I want it. I think it's probably what got the whole rebuilding aspect. It was my first car. Of course, it was a Volkswagen too, so maybe that's why I still love Volkswagens. Next question is, did you have any knowledge about jet skis or boats before going into the rebuild? As for jet skis and boats, no, I did not have any prior knowledge. I've never owned a jet ski before, and my parents have only owned boats, and then we never really worked on them. I never really did anything to them. So I was pretty much going into it blind. That's what I like to learn, though. I like to get the project and then learn hands-on. I don't do like prior research. If I want something, I will get it and then learn on the fly. I'm not really one to do a bunch of research beforehand and then do it. Maybe not the best way to go about it, but I like hands-on learning and having the project right there in front of me. That way I remember how to do stuff. You gotta start somewhere, right? If you are thinking about getting into your boat or jet ski project, you know, you can do a little bit of research, but honestly, going into it blind, I think is the best way to do it. It's just learning on the fly, and learning that way, I think, is how I learned the best. Furthest you normally drive for a project pickup? I want to add on to that question because a lot of people ask me all the time, where do I buy all my projects? Mainly it's Facebook Marketplace. I do scour Craigslist and Letgo. I think Letgo has a different name now. I can never remember the name of it, but those three things is what I usually look for. Everything else is just hard to come by, and even Craigslist is kind of going downhill. Facebook Marketplace is definitely the best if you are looking for a project, and if you find one and it's only been on for a day, you better hop on it now because it's probably not going to last. If it's a good deal, it's not going to last. But to answer your question, the farthest recently was 2.5 hours. That was for the Bennington boat. It was around 2.5 hours, maybe a little bit less. I will drive pretty much out of state for the right deal, but I really look for local things. I don't really want to drive that far, but I will. In your videos, you seem to be frustrated working on things. Is there frustration? Not that much. Not as much as you would think. I don't really get frustrated too easily. If something's starting to take too long, I kind of take a break from it and just come back to it. I don't like being angry at all, and if something is actually making me angry, I'll take a break and come back to it with a different attitude. Yeah, I was never like a super angry person. Not for like frustrating things, but problem solving. If something happens, just think of other ways to fix a problem. That's just immediately what I go for. If something, I overthink a lot too, so if I think something's gonna happen, I pre-plan if something bad happens. Does that make sense? So like an example, if I'm taking a bolt out that looks a little rusty and maybe it'll break, I pre-plan for it. You know, I already get like I'm already going into it thinking it's gonna break, so if it doesn't break, then good news, right? Different ways to look at stuff. I don't really get frustrated though. That's a good thing though. How many hours a week do you put in your videos, including labor? I could not tell you. I don't really keep track of my hours. I probably should. One video usually takes around a week. Editing a video takes maybe 6 hours, depending on how long the video is, obviously, but yeah, around 6 hours for a video, and that's spread out over a couple nights because I try to edit at night and then work in the day. I work probably 5 to 6 days a week, and just hours are always up and down because I'm either driving to pick up stuff, ordering other stuff, editing a video. You do it all, so you try to just have an open schedule and work around how you're feeling. Doesn't really answer your question, but it's a week's worth of work for one video, basically. That's pretty much it for questions. We'll save it for another time. If you guys like doing this, I can do it once every other month or something like that. Yeah, I don't think my life is super interesting, but if you guys have questions, I'm totally fine answering them. I don't want to feel like it's filler, but this is definitely filler for this episode. I thought I did a lot more work to the Bennington. It definitely felt like it. But at least we have a game plan going into it, and I have pretty much everything ordered, so it should move along pretty quick, hopefully, as long as nothing goes wrong. The fencing is going to be very custom, and it's going to be something very new for me, so excited to see how that turns out. Hopefully it does turn out pretty good, because it's going to be an expensive fix. Yeah, that's pretty much it. Thank you guys for listening if you wanted to. If not, no hard feelings. I don't do what you want. Alright guys, I will catch you next week, and yeah, bye.